We are Group 2. Our presentation today is about ODA and economic growth in Vietnam. We plan to divide our presentation into three main parts. Firstly, overview of ODA. Secondly, ODA and economic growth in Vietnam. And the last part is about trends of ODA and preference loans. I have no doubt that some of you here may first hear about the term ODA. So what does ODA stand for? ODA is preferential loans from abroad, called Official Development Assistance. It's the investments with interest rate loans or low interest for a long time. The purpose is economic growth and improve the welfare of the countries in invested countries, and is usually lent to the state. And we found that there are two types of ODA: bilateral agreement. It means directly cooperating with recipient country, and multilateral agreement. It means cooperating through international organizations. Priority areas using ODA preferential loans. The decrease the priority use of ODA preferential loans include support of the implementation of programs and projects of economic infrastructure society, support policy research and economic development, and strengthen social management of the state institutions, support for the development of human resources, and so on. The government of Japan is the most important ODA capital supply for transportation in Vietnam. There has been a major provider of ODA loans for Vietnam since 1994 to date. The Japanese ODA has funded more than 884.5 billion yen for the implementation of infrastructure project traffic in Vietnam. The project was completed and put into operation very effectively, making great contributions to the socio-economic development of Vietnam. And we can list some typical projects such as the Hai-Vinh Tunnel, the Cần Thơ Bridge, Thanh Trì Bridge, Hanoi Ring Road 3, and so on. There are three large infrastructure projects in Hanoi, including Nhật Tân Bridge, the road connecting Nhật Tân Bridge to Nội Bài International Airport, and the second floor of Nội Bài International Airport will be invested by the government's ODA, Japan, and local counterpart funds with total investment of 34,721 billion. In addition, the Japanese government is providing ODA loans to Vietnam to implement a number of development projects, the transport infrastructure. Not only Japan's ODA, but also we have other sources of capital. For example, 400 million euros in non-refundable aid from Vietnam trade relations. Britain began in the 1970s, but to the 90s, trade relations between the two countries actually developed and increased both in turnover and value categories. The growth rate of exports to the UK average of 2001 and 2006 was more than 16% per year. In addition, the British company in British Virgin Islands have invested in Vietnam with a total capital of about $3 billion. Until January of 2008, the UK had more than 99 valid projects costing for 1.44 US billion, ranked the 14th among 81 countries investing in Vietnam. And Britain is a country with great investment in Vietnam. The British company has a long-term intention, and so Vietnam needs to create favorable conditions for the investment climate for UK projects are implemented smoothly operating, through which attract British investment in Vietnam and take advantage of technology capital in the fields such as oil exploration, agriculture processing, mechanical. WHO is supporting non-refundable aid and the nature of technical assistance through technology transfer, capacity building medical appetites for countries receiving aid. However, in some necessary cases, support in the form of WHO can provide equipment, vehicles, medicines for the purpose of capital construction for the specializing field. Okay, we now move to the second part is about ODA and economic growth in Vietnam. I will talk about the capital structure of ODA. Firstly, economic sectors use ODA in Vietnam. Total capital ODA is about 56.05 billion USD from 1993 to 2013. The government used support for economic sectors such as transportation, industry and energy, agriculture and countryside growth, education, and so on. Firstly, about transportation. This is economic sectors which use the largest capital ODA, about 37% of total ODA in 1993 to 2014. From 1990 to 2013, 132 projects have completed and continuing with above 17 billion USD. Those projects have been restoring and developing national transportation system. And secondly, about industry and energy. This is 19.80% of total ODA structure from 1993 to 2014 with 11.55 billion USD. Based on capital ODA, the government have developed and improved national industrial electric, improved industrialization and modernization. The next is about agriculture and countryside growth. A third economic sector with 13.92% of ODA in 1993 and 2014, while is 8.85 billion USD from 1993 to 2012, an unequal distribution among areas. ODA has to develop production in agriculture, change performance of countryside. And lastly, about other sector. Science and technology, environment and urban growth is also economic sectors which has been taken ODA with percentage of 14.04 and 13.87 in 1993 and 2014. Almost cities, towns have been new construction, renovation, and extending system water treatment. Information technology, biology technology, material technology, and so on have been improving. Secondly, influence of health service, education, and society to human resources. Health security society 4.64%, education is 3.96%, important factors effects to human resource that impact economic growth. Firstly, health service societies, ODA capital have been improving facilities and skills for healthcare and improved safeguard HIV, AIDS, communicable disease such as tuberculosis, malaria, and so on. Especially improving quality of staff healthcare, ODA makes higher standard living of people. All grades of education have been reflowed. Moreover, increased training teachers, scholarships, and study abroad will make ODAs have increased quality of people. Okay, now we will go into the detail of ODA of Japan in legal and judicial authorities. The law system plays an important role in the growth of a country, especially three main parts: economy, society, and politics. Firstly, because the laws ensure the prevention and elimination defects of market economy, the government should intervene in legal adjustments to create a legal framework for the operation and development of the economy. Secondly, the laws ensure and protect social stability. Finally, it ensures the implementation of democracy and social justice and promotes the people's power. Moreover, three parts influence mutually. Therefore, improving the laws is an imperative task of Vietnam. In this situation, Japan is cooperating with Vietnam in the field of judiciary and is focusing on improving the law of civil and economy. In period of 2007 and 2011, Japan supported amendment of the law system. From 2011 and 2015, they supported improvement of the capacity of institutional and human resource. From 2015 to 2020, Japan is going to implement the project for harmonized, practical legislation and uniform application of law targeting year 2020. This project develops institutions for legal and judicial organization to minimize and inconsistency in legal normative documents and develop appropriate understanding, undertaking uniform implementation and application of legal normative documents. Some activities that Japan supported are amending the Civil Code, Civil Procedure Code, and more than 100 Vietnamese lawyers, including graduates, doctors, and masters, are trained in short-term training courses or professional training at home and abroad. These programs are ODA's project that is concluded among law and judicial agencies of two countries. And now we will talk about the limitation of ODA. As we described in details, ODA has a very important contribution in improving and increasing development of many leading economic departments, but in realistically, ODA is not the best capital for implementing big power projects. There are many reasons to interpret this trouble. Therefore, we would like to mention to Kaling-Hadong Railway, a scandal project as a particular sample case about limitations of ODA. Because ODA is preferential, it always requires many economic conditions that are profitable for sponsors, such as using material, choosing contractors, hiring machine or workers from sponsor country. Kaling-Hadong Railway project had to use the capital from Chinese ODA, so also Chinese contractor causes many errors when implementing this project, but we cannot instead of another country. Its stimulate consequence is unexpected quality of project by conditions because there are less competition among contractors and easy for cheating of material prices. In Kaling-Hadong project, the expense increased from 552.86 US millions to 868.04 USD billions, and this project was not completed in 2015 as budgeted date. The next limitation of using ODA is management of capital, because it is not distributed clearly responsibility on an individuals, so using ODA do not bring back the highest efficiency and always cause corruption. We can see that although ODA is an attractive capital resources because of the lowest interest, but it still brings too many issues simultaneously. In the future, we also have to face with the burden of repayment obligation. Okay, now let's turn to the last part. Scheme orientation to contract, manage and use ODA capital and preferential loans from foreign donors in the period 2016 and 2020, the government has highlighted the need for the mobilization and use of ODA capital and preferential loans in the next 5 years at about $39.5 billion. Actually, this figure can further because there is just a sum of incomplete reporting of ministries and localities according to the scheme. However, there is a big challenge to this goal, which is that Vietnam will attract nearly 40 billion USD in ODA and preferential loans, where to be able to meet this demand. In the scheme issued by the government also point out that the number of ODA capital and preferential loans have tended to decline. After becoming a middle-income country in 2010, Vietnam has gone through a period from 2011 to 2015 that declined in ODA. Total ODA capital and preferential loans reached a peak of more than $6.9 billion in 2011 and then declines in 2015 to just over $2.7 billion. This situation stems from a number of projects, particularly ODA donors, that standing or planned termination official aid program for Vietnam, while several other donors moving away from providing preferential ODA loans to loans with less favorable conditions. For the international financial institutions, firstly, the World Bank in 2017 will start providing ODA loan with preferential conditions, and instead of loans with poorer preferences. In addition, the Asian Development Bank will also start providing concessional loans to switch to less concessional loans in 1 or 2 years after the World Bank. This situation will lead to a price increase of loans, requiring agencies to Vietnam need to calculate comprehensive consideration before using funds from development banks in order to achieve investment efficiency. So that's all for about our presentation today. We hope that you will have some knowledge about the ODA and overview of ODA and economic growth in Vietnam. Thanks for listening.